class, this is Kimberly, and today I will be talking to you guys about constants. So constants, what are they? So constants are like variables. They are identifiers or names for a simple value. But unlike variables, constants cannot be changed during the script and are case sensitive. They are useful when you want an identifier to be constant throughout the script and won't change. So a good example would be pi. So pi is always 3.14. So if you set a constant or if you make pi a constant and you use it in an equation or a set of equations, it will always be 3.14 no matter what throughout the script because pi is always 3.14. So creating constants. So to create a constant, you have to use a define function. So here's an example of the define function. Define name value. The name specifies the name of the constant and the value specifies the value of the constant. So the value is what will show up in the browser. And here's an example of how to create a constant in PHP. So you do define, so pi would be the name and 3.14 is the value. And the echo is set to the name or pi. To write a constant, so a valid constant always starts with a letter or underscore. It cannot start with a dollar or a number. So like in variables, it always starts with a dollar sign. For constants, it's always a letter or underscore. And usually constant identifiers are usually uppercase. So here's some examples of what a valid and invalid constants look like. So the valid constants, foo, foo2, foo underscore bar. Invalid constants, 2 foo. So because it has the 2 in it, it's invalid. There's also an example of valid constant, but it should be avoided. So double underscore foo, double underscore. You should always just start a constant with a letter. Don't start it, even though you can start it with an underscore, it's encouraged to start with just a letter and always have them uppercase. So here's an example of constants combined with variables. So the main reason why you would have a constant is to combine it with a variable. So here's an example of what I mean. So here's pi. So pi, we defined pi as a constant, so the name pi, and the value 3.14. So here's a variable of x equals 3, and the equation is x times pi, so x times the constant. So if you have a ton of equations with pi in it, and you want pi to be the same number for every single one of those equations, so you would always just use the constant pi or the name of the constant pi, which is pi, and combine it with any type of variable you want to times it with or add it with or subtract it with. And then the echo would just be a variable which you times pi with, or the equation of the variable where you times pi with. So what would output in the browser would be whatever 3 times 3.14 is, which I believe is 9.42. So that would be the main reason why you would have a variable, use a constant, is if you have a lot of equations that use pi. So instead of always putting in 3.14, you just set it to a constant of pi and use the constant pi. So constants are also global. So what it means is you can access a constant anywhere in your script. Don't get them confused for superglobals though. Superglobals and globals do act, and superglobals and constants do act the same, but they are different. They are not the same thing. So constants can be used in functions. So since they are global, you can use a constant inside a function even if it's defined outside the function. So what is a function? A function is a block of statements that can be used repeatedly in a program. I'm sure we'll be using functions here very soon. And here's an example of how you can use a constant inside a function. So you define the constant and then you put in the function and then you echo whatever the constant name is, and then you put the equation or the function name down here also. There's also a thing called constant functions. So a constant function will return the value of a constant. So here's an example of what I'm talking about. So you do the constant, you define the constant, and then you have to echo the constant and the function, which is greeting. So constant function and the greeting. And that's pretty much it on constants. There's not that much information. They are not used very much throughout PHP. Like I said, the main reason why you would use a constant is if you use an equation or you have a lot of equations with a set value, so pi, or even a tax value. So you can use it if you have a tax of 8%, you might want to do a constant of 8% so that throughout the script the tax or whatever you're timesing the tax with will always be 8%. And that's pretty much the main reason why you would use constants. And yeah, that's it. If you have any questions, please let me know and I will try to answer them as best as I can. Hopefully I clear some things up for you guys when it comes to constants. Okay, thanks.